Hello, good evening. How nice to be with you again. My goodness, do you know what though? I woke up today, I didn't even know what day of the week it was. Now, I know that's not an unusual occurrence right now, but I actually thought it was Wednesday. Leapt out of bed because I'm meant to be doing something first thing Wednesday before I realised it was Monday. So, thank goodness it's Monday and I haven't slept through it. I'm very glad to see you all. I hope that you've had a good and glorious day where you are. And, well, here we are. Do you know what? We are on episode 16. My goodness. That's how many weeks, therefore, that we've been in lockdown because... Did I start there or started before? But here we are, episode 16, and we're going to talk tonight about our dishwasher liquid to carry on our theme of helpers that we've been doing. And I'm also going to talk, I hope, if I have time, a little bit about these little beauties that we have over here as well. But first of all, tell me about your week and tell me what you've been using in your Enyo world. I have to say, with my constant fixation of cutting my hair, I'm terrible every time I'm in there. But I gave it a really good chop on Friday and this little beauty took up all the evidence like it had never happened. So the dust glove, honestly, if you don't have one of these, I really encourage you to get one of these into your arsenal of Enyo. And I guess because we intend to talk a little bit about polishing tonight, then maybe we polish because we're also looking to pick up dust. Because we need something to make it stick, usually to that yellow duster thing that we've used in the past. But this is just amazing. If you have allergies or asthma, or like me, if you are actually allergic to dust mites, then this is fantastic because it picks up all of those elements and it traps all the eggs and the bit that really exacerbates our histamines. Okay, so if you don't have one of these, brilliant. Don't have to just use it to dust. I use this in the bathroom a lot to pick up hairs and stuff that there are around. So let me know. Oh, Christine, you're here live. I'm so excited. Right, tell me what Enyo you have been using this week. Maybe you haven't used any. Maybe you've been lying in bed all week. Who would know? But do share and let me know what you're doing. All right, or what you have been using, because that's just nice. I like to hear what you've been giving a workout and what you've enjoyed about it. But let's start. I have loads of notes around my office today to keep me on track because my printer decided to die about, an hour and a half ago. So everything's scrawled out, handwritten. Right, let's start off then with, we did a bit of a recap, if you remember, about our main helpers. So we talked about marble paste, we talked about calcium dissolver, our bleach replacement marble paste, like our SIF replacement, the thing that gives us a little bit of attrition, and we talked about the washing up liquid and how that helps revive our fibres and also wash them out. But tonight we talked about laundry liquid at length because we had all of those horrible nasties in our laundry liquid and we were talking about other things that we could use instead. Danielle, bathroom stuff. Oh, brilliant to hear that Fiona Brown has been on the case. Fantastic. I love the bathroom stuff too. So tonight we're going to do the other half of the helpers that we didn't have time for, particularly looking at our dishwasher liquid and also leather and wood balm, and I hope, going to also touch on our dandelion soap. We'll see how we're doing for time because I always gas far too much and then suddenly half an hour is away already so soon. So let's start off then talking about this because I don't know what it's like for you, but I think when I started to use my Enyo, if we talk about the kitchen stuff, I was so delighted that I was able to clean all of my kitchen without using chemicals. And I really felt, well, I suppose a little bit virtuous about that, but I really felt the value of that, particularly for my family, because here were my girls, they were quite small at the time, and then they were putting all this stuff into their mouth and touching the surfaces, and I thought, well, that's great because I've managed to clean all those surfaces chemical free. I know the food that they're ingesting has not been covered with chemicals. Then I bunged it all in the dishwasher, all of the dishes, and I washed it with something that comes out of a packet that looks like that. Okay, so just your classic dishwasher tablets. And then I got it out again, and then we started eating, and I thought, well, this is ridiculous, because I know because I know what the dishwasher smells like when I get all the dishes out, but then I'm putting all the food back on a chemically treated surface. Because if I've used anything that comes in a packet like that, or any other packet, then there is a chemical content. So I thought, well, what is it that could be in there that could be dangerous? Well, interestingly, first off, let me tell you, there's not even any ingredients on here, which I thought was kind of interesting. So it's a bit of a rigmarole to try and get them. You actually have to go onto the site to find out. And there are numerous things in there that I can't pronounce, all right? And anything that has a Zola diddly bop at the end usually leaves me with a little bit of fear that therefore anything I can't pronounce can't necessarily be very good for me. I remember that rule of thumb that Dr. McCullough always talks about. If you can't pronounce it, maybe you don't want to ingest it, which I think is a pretty good way to start. So I have been on the EWG website, so that's the Environmental Working Group, and they are the ones, if you remember, who come up with all the Dirty Dozen every year, and those which are the Fabulous 15, all of those which are really good for us, those which we want to avoid, and everything in between. So within here, so the first cleaning agent that this particular brand utilises, obviously I can't comment on yours, but you might like to go and investigate for yourself. It has high concern, not a great start, high concern for acute aquatic toxicity, may cause respiratory distress, may cause liver and endocrine disruptors. That's all to do with your reproduction bit. Remember, we don't really want to disrupt that at all. Some concern for allergies, skin irritations, etc, etc, etc. Okay, so when Enyo first brought out their dishwasher liquid, I was pretty delighted because it meant that I could get rid of this thing and I could use something else instead. But what am I trading it for? And is this any better? Or is it not? Is it going to do the job? Because there's no point trading it if it's not actually going to do the job and get things clean for me. So the Enyo dishwasher liquid, again on my 100 post-it notes which are around my room today, this uses sugar beet and sweet corn to enable us to clean. So pretty good so far, all right, because we know that all of Enyo's cleaners are plant-based. It's the sugar that has because of the high sugar content, that's what sticks on, that helps remove all the food particles. That's what makes it uber effective. And if you use this, you can let me know if you do. If you do, then you know that what also comes as a byproduct is it really cleans out your dishwasher. And also it doesn't scour your glasses like other things that maybe come in a blue packet. Okay, so I had put in a test set of glasses when I first started using Enyo's dishwasher liquid just to see what happened, and they are all still scratch and scour free, which is interesting. Hey, obviously I can't get my head in the dishwasher while I'm using it, but it is obviously doing a job effectively. Now, how do I know how much to use? Well, on Enyo's how-to bit, it says somewhere between 10 and 15 mil. But I don't use that much, I have to say. One of these little pumps, you can get them to fit the 300 milliliter bottle or the 1 litre, just with a longer bit that sticks out the end. Then that dispenses 1.2 mil. I think I probably put in about 6 to 8 Any of you lovely Enyo users who are on here, you can maybe tell me how many you use. That would be great, just to give us a bit of a rule of thumb about what people are utilising in and about. But that's what I use in here. Now, this is also the thing that I said I use if I have a really, really slaky all-purpose cloth. So towards the end of its life, when it's just not washing out as easily, or if I've done something really, really super greasy with it, I put a little bit of it on here, all right, before I bung it in the laundry. Do you remember I said that it's the high sugar content that really helps it to stick in here and take the dirt out? All right, so that's my 2 uses for it. So if you have it in the cupboard, and if you have a cloth that you just feel you would like to get a little bit cleaner, a little bit of this on it directly before it goes in the dishwasher might just be the ticket. Okay, so how much is it working out? Well, here in this little one, I know probably about 35 washes, and in here I would say it works out up to about 130 washes. Works out around, for the amount I'm using, about 25 to 27p a wash. All right, is how much it is costing me. Now, I know that some people have said that it doesn't take off all of the tea stains. So let's think about that a minute. Do you remember when we spoke about laundry liquid, and we said that there were things called optical brighteners in there, that what they did is they let our eyes see that the stain had gone when the stain hadn't gone, because it changed the nature of it. Well, the same thing is in here. We have bleaching agents in standard dishwasher tablets that let our eyes see that the stain has gone, but the residue is still stuck there on the surface. So if I want to get rid of my tea stains, then I would say all I do is I whip around with this. It doesn't take long, and it's not something that builds up overnight. So over time, I might use my all-purpose cloth, I might use my my kitchen sponge, and it doesn't happen with all of my crockery. It just happens with certain things. It must be about the glaze and how it works. Now, other people have said, oh, that doesn't suit me. What I want is a dishwasher that does everything. Well, in which case then, put your tablet in to bleach it once every so often, and then do an Enyo wash after that to make sure that you've taken off all of the harmful chemicals. So Nicola, brilliant. You use about 6 to 8 pumps. I totally agree. It depends on how dirty everything is. Now, usually at this time, someone says, well, what about rinse aid then, and what about salt? So the salt is all about how hard your water is, and it helps break that down. So if you remember in our laundry liquid, the thing that we use as a softener is alpine salt. So we know that salt acts as a softener in the water, and that really depends on where you are geographically. It depends how hard your water is. Okay, so I do put salt in my dishwasher, but what about rinse aid? So again, here we have a little bottle of a standard brand. Now this one does have ingredients on, and if I show you these two, which I can't pronounce, you might be able to see there at the top, we have 2 very long words beginning with M. All right, I can't pronounce them for the life of me, but I did go and have a look and see what they do to us. Right, so here we go. High concern for endocrine, reproductive effects, organ effects, cancer, damage to your DNA, nervous system effects, cancer, skin irritation, allergies, damage to vision, respiratory effects. Oh my goodness, acute aquatic toxicity. And so the list goes on. Oh my goodness. All right, so if you could argue, couldn't you? You could say, well, it's only a little bit. It's only a little bit that we use, because the rinse aid thing, I don't fill it up every day. So it's only a little bit that's going. So Miriam, you're saying here about reproductive effects. You're saying here about organ effects and cancer and damage to the DNA. And you're talking about acute aquatic toxicity. But it's only a little bit. But why use only a little bit when you don't have to have any of that damage at all? So I did try without any rinse aid at all. I have to say that works for a while. If for me, but over time I do find that I get little splodges on my cutlery. I could clean all those off, but I quite like it to happen in the machine. So I have tried white vinegar at the top, and recently I have been using this. Now, of course, there are other brands. I'm not telling you to buy this brand. I'm just saying that there is another option. Now, do you know what I love about this? I love it because it comes from Austria too. And this is the one that I am using in my machine, and I just want to tell you a little bit about it. I completely agree, Christine. It's all those little bits that really add up the overall effect of how it's damaging our health. So this one here, also made in Austria. And I love it because they have the same sustainable ethos as Enyo, and they talk about short transporting distances. So they obviously do everything within a close area. And what I love as well is this bottle is fully recyclable. So many of those with cleaning agents in, we can't recycle because of the damage of what's in them, but you can with this one. It is in-house production, bit like Enyo. They have no animal testing, and more importantly, they are free from all phosphates. All right, so phosphates, if you remember, they make up about 50% of a standard laundry detergent, and they are a lot of the agents within these kind of things. Okay, and why is that a problem? Well, because we know that that is linked to cardiovascular disease, osteoporosis, and it has a massive issue over our waterways because it's acutely toxic to all our marine life. All right, so if I put that into my soak away, that then leaches into the land, and then I have a real problem because in Orkney, that's going to end up in the sea. All right, so this one here, it's vegan, it hasn't got palm oil, and they really love the fact that they are independent of all corporations. So they have their own voice and their own mouthpiece. Now, there are other rinse aids as well, but I've been using this one for a while now. I really like it because it hasn't got all of the standard nasties in. So if you're looking for something, do get in touch if you want any more information on that, or try the white vinegar. I just put it in a little shallow dish in the top tray of my dishwasher, and when it comes to that rinsing cycle, it is known to get rid of all of those issues as well. Okay, so any questions on that little lot? Maybe just enough to make you think that maybe next time it's worth just having a little go at one of these. So a small bottle is 18 and a large bottle is 36, and now I just wouldn't be without it because I know what the other stuff is doing to us when we eat, and the fact that we don't have to, I think, is a real benefit. Then if you want to wash your dishwasher out, remember you can use your calcium dissolver, and that will just clean out all of the pipes and the gunk that happens. I must say that since I started using the Enyo dishwasher liquid, I do need to wash my filter out more effectively, because part of what happens in your old dishwasher mechanism tablets is that they are eating away the chemicals. The chemicals are eating away the food waste and residue. That's not going to happen anymore. So what you need is to clean your filter, but you have lovely Enyo for that, so you're all okay. Right, that's the first one. If you have any questions, let me know. But I think it's really worth thinking about these things that maybe we're using every day. All right, and all of, as Christine said earlier, all of that adds up, and all of that collectively starts really causing us health concerns and issues. So the next thing I want to talk about is polish. Now, one of my jobs as a child was to go and do the polishing. I know there are lots of other brands of polish, but the polish that was the favourite in the Hartley household was Mr. Sheen. All right, did anyone else use Mr. Sheen? Mr. Sheen, who, when I was a child, I just remember the advert of him whipping around on an aeroplane, going round and doing all the dusting. So I was sent off with a yellow duster and a can of Mr. Sheen. And because I hated cleaning, right, because it took so long, and also, you know, the better things to do, like running around outside, and the result was never very good anyway, I used to get my Mr. Sheen and spray a massive arc of it and then run backwards and forwards through it, because that was way more fun than actually doing anything. And I thought that if anyone went in and smelt it, Mrs. Hartley, all right, then she would think, oh, how wonderful, my daughter has done all of the cleaning. Haha, little did she know. No, just a lot of spraying in the air. So what are the ingredients in our polish, and why do we use polish? Well, I said at the beginning, we use it often because we were trying to get something to stick the dust. But as we know, we have a wonderful duster, and this is where Enyo begins to split between dusting, all right, and then polishing, and then feeding, all right. So things that maybe Rachel Henderson, you've been outed. Still spraying things in the air in your first house, I know. Thank goodness we're not doing that anymore, hey? Right, so the important thing about Enyo is where you have maybe in the past lumped all these things into one. So people say, well, what do I do about polishing? But really what they're meaning is, what do I do about the dust pickup, then polishing, and then also the things that I want to feed? So with Enyo World, we just need to split those. But let's talk about the furniture polish to start with, because obviously, owing to my childhood, this meant that my Mr. Sheen experience meant that I needed to go and find out, here is the mothership indeed. Mrs. Hartley, I was just outing you, saying that you used to send me off with a bottle of Mr. Sheen, which I used to spray into the air and then run backwards and forwards. Right, so furniture polish is known to cause skin, eye, respiratory tract infections. They've got carcinogens in them, easily inhaled and absorbed into the bloodstream. All right, so while we were busy polishing, remember, if I can smell it, then I'm ingesting it. We know it's just 26 seconds for that to get into our bloodstream. So all of those polishes, all right, and because they were those little micro droplets, because I used to run through them, all right, all of those are what is causing us the issue. So it says here on the safety information for that polish of choice, danger. Never a great place to start, okay? Really bad danger if in your eyes. You need to rinse it. You need to go and see your doctor. It's got lots of things which I can't pronounce in it, but they are on some of those commonly found within that, and the perfumes within it are found on the Environmental Protection Agency's hazardous waste list. Hi, Kathleen. Not a great place to start. All right, that we are having so many things that we have used commonplace that are on the hazardous waste list. Not good. All right, so people are saying here, if we're banning smoking, then why are we not banning this use of perfume? Do you remember we spoke the other day about perfume being the hidden way that chemical agencies can bung anything in? All right, so that's the same for these things that I've been speaking about today. The dishwasher tablets, also the polish. Anything that has perfume, fragrance is the way of chemical companies just getting anything in the back door that we don't really necessarily know what it is that they're doing. But all of those things within polishes, not great for us. And poison to parrots, I am not surprised. Okay, so let's talk then about how we're going to dust, how we're going to polish, and how we're going to fill. So your dust glove. Kids one's coming home. Right. Yes, I can't read all of your comment there, Danielle. My fear is that if I tap on it, that you will all disappear. But it's really true, isn't it, about being sent in, spraying. We can kind of smell it, so we need to do something else. So this one here, this is the brilliant one for dusting. This is the one as well that picks up all the evidence that I've been snipping my hair. So you remember with your dust glove, remember with your Enyo, if it has a little cross on it like there, you're going to use it dry. And this one we need to charge up, so go and charge it up, go and do my dusting, go outside, give it a good slap. That will release all of everything that's trapped in here. I don't wash it that frequently. We would expect your dust glove to last you about 5 years on average. But when you do go and wash it, then make sure that it's in a little laundry bag on its own, even if you put other Enyo in different bags, because that will just mean that it doesn't transfer all of the hairs to everywhere else. I love my dust glove. I just would not be without it. All right, so that's our first little process. Then maybe what we need to do is potentially clean. So in your living set, there is a glove that is textile soft. This is the one that I would clean leather with, stuff when I drop it down my clothes, trainers. If you remember, I used this glove a few weeks ago. But we also have another one that I bleat on about all the time because it's one of my absolute favourites. And that is this one here, which is our living soft cloth. And this one I use for damp dusting. So where you will have gone in and polished, because you're trying to also remove dirt, that's where I would use maybe my living soft cloth, because I can use it on leather. So if you have a look here, my shoes, you can see that the living soft cloth, it's not that I just want to dust, I do want to clean them. All right, so I'm just going to clean one so that you can see, and you can see that it's trapped all the dirt in there. And this is the one that I often send my kids out to go and clean with in their room. So I would send them off, Danielle, where you're saying about the duster, I'd send them off with the dust glove and this one, because they can wipe anything down with it and it won't cause any damage. Then I might want to just polish them. And if I just wanted to polish them, then I can activate the leather just by using the polishing glove. So if there is something maybe on your sofa when you've cleaned it, it might be a little bit dull on your leather sofa, and you can activate the shine just by using the glove. Can you see that? Just on its own. That, I haven't fed it, I've just polished it. Now that's completely different to me also feeding it, okay? So this is where my fantastic leather and wood balm come in. So no more Mr. Sheen, no more anything else, okay? So this has canuba wax in it. That comes from a Brazilian palm leaf, all right, that it uses. It's highly waterproofing and it feeds things and it gives it a lovely shine. So I would use this on leather sofa. You can see me use it on shoes. I know lots of people use it on tack as well for horses. And if you go onto my Enyo UK with Miriam Freer page, and I will share this link to the helpers after I come off, then there's a fantastic little bit on helpers. Oh, sorry, we're getting the light on it there. And you can see we have sheets that talk about all things like more than. So more than leather and wood balm. It's not just for this. You could use it. Lots of people have used it on their hands with the, after the, when everybody's hands were breaking out at the beginning of this pandemic, and just being able to moisturize those. You could use it on nappy rash instead of any of that Sudocrem stuff. You can use it. Use it if you've got piles. You can use it on all of those things. You could use it, do you remember when we did the outdoor stuff? You could use it on your ceramic plant pots as well. I used it to waterproof my bench. So loads of uses for that. Steam hot bar, oh yes, it is brilliant on antique polished furniture. I totally agree. I've got rid of loads of those heat stains. It's absolutely awesome. Thank you for reminding me for that, Christine. And if you have a look now, you can see the one that I have not cleaned and the one that I have. So what a simple process, all right, and no nasties. So in between times, I won't have to feed it all the time. I can just use that polishing cloth, because the job of that fibre is to reactivate, all right? So it's not about dusting, it's about actually polishing. So there you go, and you can use that polishing cloth on things like your cars. You can use it on jewellery, and I'm going to go into it in more detail, talking about all those sorts of things next week. Do you know what? That's half an hour gone like that. Haven't even got on to soap. So you'll have to come back next week for the next instalment. What I do need to let you know is that if you have been tracking our special offers, then you only have until tomorrow to order these two beauties. Okay, so if they are of interest to you, you will need to pop your order in tonight. And if you remember, we have that great starter kit for $59. That's here, and that lasts until the end of the month, so you've got a little bit of time for that. And we also have a skincare offer, this amazing, beautiful coral pink face duo glove. It's been so popular, you've all absolutely exhausted our supplies in the warehouse, so we've had to replace the 2 iPads with 2 that look like this. So now if you order this kit, this is what's going to arrive home, but you still have until the end of the month to take hold of that. And the last thing I want to tell you is, starting next month, if you remember, we've had our host seasonal special that's lasted the last 3 months for our combi wiper. Lots of you have taken advantage of that. This is the next one. I love this. Do you remember we used the flexi fibre a few weeks ago and we did my beam and we all saw how minging I was? All right, so this one here, usually $69, and you can get it as a host special over the next 3 months for just £49. So if this has been on your wish list for a while, then get in touch and we can pop a demo in for you, and you can get your normal hosting shopping vouchers, and you can get this little beauty for $49 rather than $69. So if that's of interest, let me know. Right, as you know, all of these lives also go onto YouTube, so I'd encourage you, if you haven't, hop onto my YouTube channel, Enyo UK with Miriam FB. Just subscribe there, because every time I pop a video up, you'll get a little notification. It might just be something that interests you, and it also helps you, keeps you right with all of your Enyo as you go through, because there's full demos there on kitchen and bathroom and the floors and the windows. So everything that you need, just a little reminder on, then everything's there, and all the past Mondays as well. I have lots of ideas coming up, but if you have anything that you would like us to have a look at on a Monday, then let me know. Hope you've enjoyed tonight. Thank you so much for joining me as always. Yes, I love the Flexi too, Christine. Do you know what? It gets so underrated, but I think now it is one of my absolute go-to products. We may go and fertile under my sofa next week and see what we can drag up there. Now that's something you're not going to want to miss. Have a great week, everybody. Stay safe. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will talk to you all soon. Thank you. Bless you. Bye-bye.